I'm not going to single out any one of my opponents, because if you put them in a bag and shook them up, they'd all come out looking like Pringles potato chips. There's not a nickel's worth of difference between them. They share common characteristics. They've all been taking the public dollar while the state's been in decline, but I haven't seen them come up with solutions while we've already been paying them. Now they want to get assigned to another job and take another paycheck for coming up with solutions they couldn't think of while they had the first job with the first paycheck. You know, it's time for a change, ladies and gentlemen. But we've got to resurrect the Democratic Party. That's what's going to pull this state out of decline, because the Republicans aren't going to do it. But the Democrats can, and the Democrats will. But not if we resurrect the party in its old image. We cannot resurrect the party in its old image. That got so bad they elected Republicans to replace it. How bad is that? And let me tell you, you elect some of these other Pringles, you know, Ernie Fletcher is going to have a real chance at gaining re-election. It's that simple. But you know, it's time to come across with some nuts and bolts solutions. So here's what I think we ought to do. I think we ought to get every high school graduate in the state of Kentucky a $5,000 voucher for books, tuition, and fees to any institution of further learning within the state, whether it be vocational school or truck driving school or cosmetology school or UK or UL or community college. Our colleges are ratcheting tuition out of the reach of middle and lower income families. And they're becoming elitist when the mission of University of Kentucky is certainly to educate the kids, not become some top 20 research that's going to bring people in from out of state and then send them right back out. We got kids can't even make change for a $10 bill in their head. And they can't afford college. We're going to start remedial education in the first grade. That's where we start remediating these folks. And we don't have to, $250 million is what it's going to cost us per year if all 50,000 graduates take advantage and spend all $5,000, but that's not going to happen. Look, this isn't for pizza, rent, and beer. It's not a $5,000 bank account. It's a check cut by the state to the educational institution that's going to teach this person employability. And it's a method of funding education without spending $100 million to build a campus and a building to try to lure people into it, but instead taking that exact amount of money when that person has it in their heart, they want to learn that, and send it to the person who's going to educate them. Accredited institutions within the state of Kentucky. We can't afford not to do it. I also want to give tax incentives out, but not for big corporations to locate here. That's a proven failed economic policy. It's failure. Look at where we're at. Instead, I want to give economic incentives to existing in-state corporations to establish state-of-the-art environmental compliance. So that then, as an executive, I can go outside the state and say, look, we're totally committed to education, totally committed to the environment. Come in and help us chase the American dream instead of live the American nightmare. You know, folks, the same old, we're going to end up 50th. It's time for everybody to step up. And you young Democrats and you older Democrats in the room, it's time. So what I did, you know, people tried to marginalize and make one issue. I wrote a book called The Last Free Man in America. It was #1 seller at Joseph Best for 10 straight weeks, and we're getting out 100,000 copies. Free to the Democrats, $10 for the Republicans. All right, but it has the whole campaign, page 193. Page 193, the whole campaign, there for free. If you'd like to pick one up when you leave here, I'd be most honored to give it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a choice in this race. You can vote for them or you can vote for change. I ask you to vote for me. God bless you. If you like what you hear, tell your friends. Of course, if you don't like it, just hush up about it. Thank you.